What's up, Al Domingo? Welcome everybody to Prime's Fantasy Island. That's right, where I talk fantasy football all the way up until kickoff. That's right. Oh, I should probably get that channel on so I can see when that kickoff starts. Anyway, what up, Brian C? Thank you for being a top fan. You too, Al Domingo. That's right, if you have not already gone to Raider Reaction and hit that little button there to become a supporter, help us do what we do here at Raider Reaction. That's right, all the videos, all the live shows, we could use your help. So, anyway, this is Prime. It's week, what, 11? Yeah. In the NFL, and I am here to answer your fantasy football questions. Don't forget to follow Raider Reaction on all of our platforms. I'm talking about Instagram, Twitter, even YouTube, where you can catch all the old shows, man. All the old shows. So go ahead, hit me up right now. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking in regards to your fantasy football team this weekend. I know there's a lot of questions. I hope you don't have any Denver quarterbacks. Well, you shouldn't have any Denver quarterbacks anyway, but yeah, anyway. Might help if they had one. That was too funny last week. So, all right, I see people coming in. If you're just joining us, this is Prime's Fantasy Island, where I am here to answer your... Oh, Robbie Anderson went off for 64 points, baby. I got a 2-game win streak. That's right, David Mazer. Robbie Anderson, I tell you what, when he was with the Jets, right, he was like a every now and again guy. It's like you'd pick him up off the waiver wire, and for some odd reason, every year you'd end up with your heart broken because you got Robbie Anderson there, and he's going to have that 36-point game, but then all of a sudden he's going to have a 4-point game. But now that he is basically the number one in Carolina, basically, then yeah, definitely. Volume is weird. I don't know. Let's see what I can do here. I don't know. Maybe is the volume better? I have no idea. We've cut the music and stuff, so hopefully that fixes everything. Anyway, Robbie Anderson he's not a heartbreaker anymore. Now that he is with Carolina, they've got a more consistent offense with Teddy Bridgewater. I have no idea. Well, they're on the bye week this week. Carolina's on the bye, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look here. Yeah. So, Booker greater than Jacobs versus Jets? Oh, man. No way. I can't. Okay. Thanks. Good looking out, Myra. David, that's a good question. Is Booker? No, man. Jacobs is still the man, dude. I don't care if he's playing. He's the man. Period. Especially versus the Jets. The Jets, they can't stop anybody. They can't stop anyone. So I would definitely go Jacobs, and I think he's going to have a bounce-back game. I think that entire Raider offense is going to have a bounce-back game. Now, I'm not going to say that all of their skill positions are necessarily going to go off, but I could definitely predict, Nelson Aguilar is going to get a touchdown. That dude's catching one all the damn time now. I haven't seen enough Waller this year, personally. I think Waller needs a lot more targets, but I got a piece of shit J7. I have no idea what you're talking about, David Mason. But anyway, I don't know how much of this actually has to do with fantasy football or any kind of football. If you got football questions, I'll answer those too. It is all good. But that's right. We are on Prime's Fantasy Island. Did you guys see my commercial? I gotta say a big ups to the commish for making that commercial. Man, there's like dancing girls and stuff, and it's crazy, dude. Like there's no girls. I don't have dancing girls here. That's like false advertising, but it is a fantasy island. So hit me up with your fantasy football questions, and I'll be more than happy to help you to win this week. I know the playoffs are on the horizon. The fantasy football playoffs are on the horizon. I mean, whew. What about that ankle? I'm telling you, if he plays, he's a stud. He doesn't even want to come out of the game when he's hurt, man. That ankle, they'll tape it up real good, and if they have to tape it up again at halftime, they're gonna do it. And is he still gonna be a stud? Man, I would take a 90% 90% Jacobs over Booker any day. Dude. So, like I said, if he plays, then he's on. That's just it. He's a must start. He's one of the top running backs in the NFL right now. Definitely in the top 10, arguably in the top 5. You know, so and you just don't sit those guys. You start them every week. I still have hopes for Ruggs. Ruggs, this could be a Ruggs game too. I mean, Ruggs can easily take the top off of any defense, let alone the lowly Jets. So I know that a lot of the skill positions, including Carr, are going to do a lot better, even fantasy wise. It'll be quality, man. He'll get 20 touches, no problem. If he plays and the ankle holds up and they'll tape it as well as he can and he won't ever want to come out of the game, he's going to get 20 touches. If they give Jacobs 20 touches, then man, not only do they win, but man, it still opens up everything else. And that's where, of course, that's where Ruggs comes in. That's where Waller comes in. That's where Aguilar comes in, So, anyway, I am struggling for my playoff life in fantasy football right now. And it's been hard. I've got more players on injured reserve and COVID lists and all sorts of stuff, man. Like, it has been a struggle the whole way. I've been riding the struggle bus, but I've been riding the struggle bus to a 500. And if I win this week, then I think I'm in the playoffs. And that is battling. No, I won't even get into my fantasy football woes for my own team, all because of injuries and whatnot else and injured reserve, But my quarterback just started getting live. I got Deshaun Watson. That guy's a top 5 fantasy quarterback, So, by the way, you can also check out my Just Win Baby. Just Win Baby. That's where I break down how the Raiders are going to win each game. And the problem is I didn't do it last week for it was Thanksgiving and such. And holidays are strange sometimes. So you ain't lying? Nah, I never do, man. It's not my thing. Anyway, so I didn't do one last week, and then that Atlanta debacle went down. I'm like, ugh. Man. So I feel like I should have done that video, and you guys should have watched it. And if that would have happened, then maybe they would have won. Who knows? Week 12, Raiders got this road game. Pest is past. Now it's against them New York Jerks. Says Alex Gillians. All right. And win this road game. Fuck the Steelers, Colts, Dolphins, Chargers. Raiders got this. Wow. Alex going hard for a half second. And Autumn Wind is a pirate. Yeah, I know, Alex. All right, Alex. But, hey, the Raiders haven't fared well when they have to travel to the East Coast for an early game. And that bad boy is at noon. At noon Central Standard Time. That's 11 Eastern Standard, or 1 Eastern Standard. I don't even know. 11 Mountain Time. Time zones. Whatever. Daylight savings. I got Thalen, Woods, and Johnson as wide receiver. Ebron balling. That's true. Myers kicking. Wilson QB is fired. David is just like, nice. I mean, all right. I got surprise performances I had 45 points out of Deshaun Watson last week. I had another 23 from Austin Eckler, who's been on IR until last week. He finally played. He got me 23 points. I was like, yeah, no, if I could just get Christian McCaffrey healthy and have Austin Eckler and Christian McCaffrey, boom, then I'm rolling into the playoffs. I'm feeling pretty good about that. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I still got some wide receivers healthy too. So, pimping it easy. Fantasy football. I love it, though. I love fantasy football. Maybe that's part of the reason why I'm just a guy who appreciates the shield, The shield. The little shield. The big shield. Keep it 100. Yeah. Anyway, I got to pick a backup D. Jones against Atlanta. DB. I gotta pick a backup D. I mean, really, when it comes to backup D, all I look at is who they're playing that week. Because otherwise, I mean, there's no defense that's really defense is it's only kind of important, you know? It's better to get some points than no points, you know? But ultimately in a lot of formats, defense is not, you know, a huge concern on your fantasy football team, but you got to start one. So if in so case you have a defense on a bye, or maybe your defense is somewhat underperforming, then you should look at whoever a defense is playing. Find the weakest offense on the list. You know, like the team that's playing the Jets, for instance, or the team that's playing Cincinnati. I mean, Joe Burrows is gone for the rest of the year, so Cincinnati is just whoever plays, get that defense, you know. Whoever plays against the Broncos, go right ahead. Yes, get that defense. But basically, you're just looking at the matchup when it comes to a backup D. So. Oh, and by the way, Ryan Lara, I appreciate you. You the man, linebacker. Linebackers, all you want is a middle linebacker. You know, if you need a linebacker, then yeah, you got to go a middle linebacker. They're going to make the most tackles usually. Now you can sort of roll the dice with an outside linebacker who can sometimes, you know, look like a defensive end or something like that. You know, but really you're just chasing sacks if you're doing that. So ultimately, at linebacker, I think a safer bet, and if you have that individual defensive player, pardon me, then yeah, you're gonna want to go middle linebacker. Find a middle linebacker. You know, check his stats before you pick him up. You got to look at those tackles because that's the most important thing. You know, sure they might get a fumble, sure they might get some interceptions or something like that. Maybe a couple if they're lucky at linebacker, but ultimately you want to see that tackle tally. So anyway. Woo! Well, I tell you what. How do I feel about Hines or Bernard? Well, Bernard has been balling out. He's kind of a multi-purpose back. I like him a little bit better than Hines. But it's really hard with that Cincinnati offense right now losing their quarterback, and they're going with a backup, and he's kind of not worth mentioning. So, yep, Devin White in a bye week. Yeah, okay. So yeah, just find that middle linebacker, David. I think that's how you go. But Bernard is I really like Bernard better than Hines, but ultimately, I just don't know if that offense is gonna hold up for him. You know what I mean? Like, is the offensive line gonna play well? Are they gonna put 8 men in the box the whole time and try and make this backup quarterback beat him? You know, that's probable. So that'll be a long day for pardon me, for Bernard, but he is good with his hands as well. So if you are in a point per reception, a PPR league, then Bernard's still, I think, a better choice there. So, but you know, Dave, you do what you think is best for you. Look at those projections and look at those matchups. So, and yeah, so in the meantime, if you are seeing this in a watch party, the only way that you can ask questions and then I answer them is if you watch the live show. So if you are, thank you. This is thank you, Jose. He's mentioning the jersey. This is my custom red, white, and blue jersey because I love this country. If you didn't know, I think you can see the prime there. That's me. I'm prime, So, anyway, if you want to see, or if you want to have your questions answered live, then you have to watch a live show. If you're watching a watch party, it doesn't work. You got to go straight to the Raider Reaction. Bam, go to videos. Bam, I'm live. Jump in there. Hit me up with your fantasy football questions, and I will do what I do best, and that's give you answers that are solid and based on stats. So, anyway, in the meantime, we're about to kick off. That's right. So, don't forget, Follow us on all of our platforms. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter. All of it, including Facebook/Raider Reaction. And don't forget to hit that green button in the corner and be a supporter. I am Prime. This is Prime's Fantasy Island. Oh, David Meza, you hit me with the... All right, overtime. Okay, what's a good defensive team? I just went through it. It doesn't really matter what team it is. It's a matter of who they play. Who do they play? Make sure they're playing a weak offense and then score some points. They're going to get some fumbles, some interceptions. This is Prime. That's Prime. Oh, Prime's Fantasy Island. Prime Cut. Remember that one? Anyway, I'm out, y'all.